Hello Physical Fiends, it is Jordan here with some just announced physical releases. These are games that have recently been announced, they are not releasing this week. TOMBA Special Edition is getting a physical release on PlayStation 4, out of nowhere really. Limited Run did pre-orders for Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5, but Video Games Plus have the exclusive PS4 physical release, which is coming at the end of August. Apparently this will have build 2.01, which is better than the other physicals, I'm led to believe. It's a port of a PS1 classic, or at least a cult classic, a cute, colourful 2.5D platformer from an era I very much miss. Again, this is only available at VGP, so you'll want to grab it now since I can't imagine they printed a whole lot of copies for it. And if you do want it, or any of the games in this video, then please consider using the links I've put in the description and pinned comment. Any purchase made via those links massively helps support me and this channel in the best way possible, and I do thank you greatly from the bottom of my heart. Simon the Sorcerer Origins. I've talked about this a couple of times already, but mostly in the context of its European release. Well, it turns out there's gonna be a North American physical too, but only in a standard edition. If you want the collector's edition, then you'll have to get that from In Games' website. This is a prequel to a point-and-click adventure game series that looks pretty sweet. I am looking forward to it. Life is Strange Collection is releasing on the PlayStation 5, and that sounds like a fantastic collection, the perfect all-in-one. However, only 2 games are on the disc, 3 of them are download vouchers. What's the point? Just buy them when they're like $3 on the PSN. Anyways, this is releasing at the start of October. Hell is Us is releasing in September on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. This is a single-player action RPG type game-o. Quite dark and murky, it looks like a budget game trying to be AAA, which, you know, I can get behind. A bit of gumption, a few cookie-cutter generic enemies, but some fancy effects and weighty combat can make it a fun game. Wobbly Life was recently released digitally on Nintendo Switch, and soon after, the physical release was announced for September 18th on the Switch, but also PS5 and Xbox Series X, where the game has been very popular for a while now. An open world sandbox game, I don't know much about it, but I'm getting the feeling of human fall flat with a bit of nonsense silliness that kids will definitely love. ANTONBLAST is a game I forgot to put in the last episode. It was part of a bunch of fan gamer releases that went up for pre-order recently. This is just on Nintendo Switch. It is a 2D platformer with a really nice art style, like a 90s cartoon, and it plays a bit like a Wario game, and it's also compared favorably to the equally enjoyed Pizza Tower, but I think I like the look of this one a bit more. This physical on Nintendo Switch is releasing in early November. Mistonia's Hope, The Lost Delight is an upcoming Otome release from Axis Games, releasing in November. This one stars a maid and has a plot about revenge, trying to get back at someone who took everything from you, which sounds fascinating. One day, I will read an Otome just to find out how they can nonchalantly fit in 6 dateable chads into that premise without it being dumb. I don't know, I have to find out. EA Sports FC 26 is obviously getting a physical release, but only properly on PS5, PS4 and Xbox. The Switch and Switch 2 editions will be download nonsense, and that's releasing in September. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Now, we all knew about Sonic CrossWorlds, but there has been much speculation about that Nintendo Switch 2 release. What kind of release would it be? Well, it seems that there's been a bit of soul-searching over at Sega. I'm guessing partly down to the poor launch sales of their Game Key releases on Switch 2, because they have recently just announced the Switch 2 version is specifically being delayed compared to the others, and the physical release, yes, a proper Switch 2 cartridge release is going to be coming early next year. Which, yeah, I am a bit worried about that because it's going to be massively late compared to elsewhere, so it's going to sell much less theoretically, but hopefully it does sell well, because I would love for Sega to get the right message. I'm terrified they're going to see it sells like 12 copies because it's 6 months late, and they're wondering, okay, let's go back to Game Key. No, don't let that happen. If you plan on buying this game, how about just, you know, hold on, wait for that Switch 2 release, okay? Alright, let's take a look at some import announcements. These are games that so far only have an Asian or Japanese release with English, unless otherwise stated, and of course there is always time. Keep in mind, a Western physical could be announced at any point really. And if you ordered these from PlayAsia, you can get 5% off with my code Jordan2025. And quickly, if you're new here and you enjoy physical video games, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button. It will be the best thing you do today, I promise you. Air. Now this has had an interesting development because Air was released on the Switch in Japan a good while back now, but Key have continued their commitment to adding English to their back catalogue of releases, so if you own the Japanese physical version of Air already, then you can download an update right now to play it in English. And they've also reprinted the game with the update on the cartridge. Sadly, with PlayAsia's listing that I've linked to below, it's impossible to know if it's the old or the new print. It's highly likely it's the old one, but who knows? You'll be playing a bit of a lottery to get the most up-to-date version. But either way, if you get a physical copy of it, whether it's the old one or the new one, you can get it to play in English. Akupara Narrative Pack is an Asian release that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, since this is a triple pack that includes Etherborn, Mutazione, and Behind the Frame. The confusion does not come from the fact that each of these have a North American physical release already. The confusion is that the very same publisher, almost around the same time, are releasing a double pack called Behind the Frame and the Star named EOS. They are releasing Behind the Frame twice within a month in two separate packs. I don't know what's going on. Majogami is a game I made a video about already last week, or was it this week? I don't remember, but in case you didn't see that, well, the Nintendo Switch 2 is getting another proper physical release, this time from an indie studio. Very brave of them. It's Inti Creates' latest side-scrolling action game, and it's releasing in Japan on Switch 1 and Switch 2 physically this October. And if you weren't convinced by my evidence presented in the video, well, PlayAsia have now updated their listing to say that it does include English, as well as confirming the Switch 2 version is a proper cartridge, and it's also coming in a collector's edition. Atelier Ryza Trilogy. Now, I've been asked a couple of times to talk about this release, however, I've wanted to wait until there was more information. Well, I still believe there is more information to come, but let me spell it out to you what we know as of now. All three Ryza games are releasing in a triple pack in new DX editions with DLC and tweaks and new content and stuff. The current physical release that we know of is in Japan. The PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 versions will have English, but the Nintendo Switch version does not. Why? I don't know, it's bullshit, but I do suspect that there may be an incoming Asian release, and that is what I was waiting for before talking about it, but I'll be sure to mention it again if any news about that does arise, because I know most of you would prefer it physically on the Switch in English. And there we have a bunch of new announcements. What is your favorite in this episode? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, give me a thumbs up. That really does help support me as well. And if you want to pre-order any of them, then do so with the links below. And have a fantastic weekend, okay? Take care.